My name is Margaret. I am 72 years old, and this is the story of the day the world decided I was dead while I was still very much alive. Years ago, when my husband passed away, I thought I had already lived through the greatest shock of my life, but I was wrong. Life still had one more storm waiting for me. I have one daughter, Emily. She is successful, busy, and always rushing. We used to be close when she was young. Somewhere along the path of adulthood, the space between us grew larger. I tried not to take it personally. Children grow. Parents grow old. One winter, I booked a flight to visit an old friend who had moved across the country. Nothing unusual. I packed my small suitcase, kissed my granddaughter goodbye, and promised to bring her a gift. The flight itself was delayed for hours due to bad weather. Eventually, the airline canceled it altogether and moved us to a new flight the next morning. They gave us hotel vouchers. We were tired, annoyed, but safe. That night, the storm grew worse. News reports spoke of turbulence, canceled routes, diverted aircraft. I turned off the TV and went to sleep. When I woke the next morning, my phone was filled with messages, missed calls, voicemails, texts from numbers I didn't recognize. My heart began to pound. I opened one message from a distant cousin. "I'm so sorry about your mom. We just heard about the crash." Crash? What crash? Confused, I turned on the television. There it was. A plane, the flight number I was originally booked on, had gone down. No survivors. And because the updated passenger list from the cancellation hadn't been fully processed, my name was still on it. I stood there in the hotel room alive while the world mourned me. I called my daughter. She didn't answer. I called again. Still nothing. When I finally reached her later that day, her voice was shaking, not with grief, but with something else, something colder. "Oh," she said flatly, "so you're alive." No, thank God, no relief, no tears, just inconvenience. She had already begun paperwork, insurance, property claims, legal filings, all assuming my death. She had even referred to me in the past tense. My mother was. Was. It hurt more than the thought of dying ever could. Days later, the airline called. There had been internal negligence. A legal case formed. Passengers and those mislisted were contacted. Because my name had been tied to the flight, my rights had been violated. There were layers of legal detail I never expected to learn at 72. The case took time, years actually, but eventually a massive settlement was awarded, $18 million. People expect fireworks when money enters a story, greed, drama, chaos, but all I felt was quiet. Because somewhere inside that number was grief for the people who truly did not come home, and somewhere inside it was the sting of realizing that my own daughter saw my death as an opportunity before she saw it as a loss. When I told her about the settlement, she suddenly remembered how to love me again. Calls, visits, warmth. But love that returns only when money appears isn't love. It's gravity pulling toward whatever is heaviest. So I made a choice. I bought myself a small, peaceful home by the sea. I donated a large portion to families who had truly lost loved ones. I set up college funds for my grandchildren directly, not through her mother. And I kept enough to live comfortably, quietly, with dignity. One day, my daughter finally broke down. "Mom, I didn't know how to process it. I panicked. I failed you." And I believed her. But I also learned a truth I wish I didn't have to learn so late in life. Sometimes losing you shows people who they really are. And sometimes surviving shows you who you want to keep. Today, I walk along the ocean every morning. I breathe. I heal. I remember that life can vanish in a heartbeat and come back just as suddenly. If you are listening to my story right now, hold on to the people who love you when you have nothing. Hold on to the ones who cry with relief when you answer the phone. Hold on to the ones who see your life as more valuable than your absence, because those people are priceless. And that is my story.